G'day guys, Luke here from Australian Off-Road. Today we've got a handover of a new 2020 Aurora, so we just want to take this opportunity just to give people a bit of an overview, show people the new features in the Aurora. Now this one is a customer's, so there is going to be a few little things in here that are different, obviously what the customer's optioned for, so I'll try and outline them as I go. Just a bit of an overview on the Aurora. That is our flagship model, tandem axle, so the only tandem axle we do at present. Obviously a fixed roof trailer compared to the pop tops. The beauty of the hard roof trailers is you've got your overhead, so plenty of storage above in these lockers, which do come in handy. Now you'll notice also with the Aurora it is a slightly wider width than the single axle, so it's actually 2100 wide, which internally this gives us more space in a seating area, plus in terms of bench space you've got slightly more bench space, a lot of cabinetry here for storage in your kitchen. So a few little things to outline which have been brought in as 2020 additions. We brought this in at the end of last year, so this is quite a good feature which customers did request. We had several requests for a slide out pantry, so nice little addition into the trailer there. Same style locking that we've got on all the rest of the drawers, where you individually lock each drawer. The pot drawer has come into play as well now. A lot of people asking for deeper drawers lately, so that is now standard. Yeah, huge volume of storage in that drawer itself. 3-burner cooktop internal, so with the Aurora you've got internal cooking, you've got external cooking as standard. So 3-burner gas cooktop as standard, internal sink and basin for washing up with. All your power points are at the base of the bed, so you've got USB points there, 12-volt sockets. One of the big changes that we did at the end of the year, which this customer actually requested, was going to single power point. So in the past we've had double power points, which is a separate system for main, separate for inverter. That has now gone to an automatic switching system. So in other words, if you're plugged into mains, these power points work from mains. Once you're off the grid, you switch your inverter on, they'll then switch on to inverter side. So neatens this area up a lot, which in turn means that you've now got power points at the base of the bed in the kitchen. You've also got them underneath your table for your seating area, and then you've also got them up here in your power station area. So for people that are going with satellite dishes, Foxtel boxes, things like that, you've got power there. Seating area, as I mentioned earlier on, is slightly bigger in this, so you've got your side bolsters and your back bolsters there for comfort. Now this one is leather seating, which is an addition in all trailers, so the fabric is the standard. This customer's opted for leather here. Colour scheme, they've gone with the slate modules, which is quite a colour coordinated van now with the leather, but a lot of people are opting for different colours depending on which way you go. We always run alabaster as the cabinetry colour, which is the white, but there is choices on what we class as the internal module colour, where you've got your browns, your greys and your whites. Table's removable, same as the smaller trailers. The beauty of that is you can then put an infill cushion in this area to convert that into a bed if needed. Something that can always be retrofitted, so that is designed to be set up later on too. With the Aurora, a little bit standout feature, you've got the dual fridge freezer, so separate fridge freezer there, which is 175 litre capacity. So great feature there, having them separate. You've got your media cupboard above, which depending on what options customers take, this customer is going to actually put his Foxtel box in there, but obviously if you're not a media person, that might just be additional storage for maps and things like that. Now another thing to outline with this trailer, this is the start in the Auroras for the fin scan unit, so you can see the nice big screen up here, the 7-inch screen, which is standard. From this fin scan now, being that is your BMS system, you do all your switching through this as well now, which in turn, as you can see, it makes this area a lot neater. You haven't got separate switches anymore, so everything is done through there in terms of switching inverters on, external lights, internal lights, where with this trailer you've actually got the dimming as well, so with the lights they've been upgraded to be able to dim through as well. So great feature that's gone into a variety of the trailers, but being the 7-inch screen, that's the beauty with the Aurora. It gives you a vast range to be able to view all these features through there. You'll also see at the side of this one that the customer's gone for airbags, which is a new option that we actually offer now. So this can be done on all trailers. You can see that this is set up with a green light on at the minute, so there's different ride heights there. With the airbag suspension, you've got 3 settings which you can actually control off your phone as well, so getting a bit more technical, but obviously a great feature for leveling as well. So that's mainly going to cover what we want inside. The Aurora, obviously you won't be able to see it in a minute, Shane the cameraman's caught in there, but basically inside here you've got a separate ensuite, which tends to be one of the big selling features of the Aurora. A lot of people lean this way to get that separate toilet. You've got your shower off to the right, so a nice big cubicle there that actually gives you a bit of a seat platform in there as well with storage underneath. So really, really good feature, and as I say, a lot of people lean to the Aurora for that feature. So plenty of storage in that area. Just above the toilet behind Shane again, I'm just turning around a bit. Just above that toilet you've actually got a towel rail holder as well, just a bit of a clothesline if need be, or towels just to dry them off as you travel. Again, single power points there for the automatic switching system, and then obviously our unique Macerator toilet, which is in all the trailers with the toilets. So now if from going inside we've kind of covered all the main things in here, we'll take a bit of a wander outside and I'll show you some of the features out here. So again, being that this is a customer's trailer, I'll try to outline what I can in terms of what this customer's added into the trailer. So the first thing here is the alloys. The customer's gone for these alloys, which gives him the interchangeability with his car, being that his car's got 18s. So we do offer 17s as standard, but we can bring in 18s if required as well for certain tow vehicles. Steel rims are always standard, just so you're aware. Also, he's gone with the stone coating on the lower half, which is a very common feature now. That is a Raptor coating, so a stone protection coating to protect against stones obviously, but also gives it that nice finish, but gives it that protective base layer as well. One thing that's been brought in on the 2020 models now with the single switching, this has also come onto the outside as well, so you've got one power point externally, which again will run off mains if you're on mains. If you switch over to inverter, then it operates off inverter. TV points are standard 12 volt socket, that's all standard and always has been. External kitchen, as I said earlier, with the Aurora you've got internal and external cooking, so really you've got best of both worlds. Just to give you a bit of an idea on the setup of this, it is nice and easy, so really good for quick stops, overnighters. So you've got a mount bracket which will just lock onto this point on the trailer, one latch on the side which gives you a good preparation area. Obviously your power points are on hand if you want to stick TVs and things like that on there. You've got storage above in this area. So this customer has opted for a one big drawer, whereas normally we'd give you one smaller drawer and one opening, so you can easily chuck your small items in there, your glad wraps, your alley foils, things like that. So a bit of a preference there. Two burner cooktop with a grill underneath, so the grill is quite a handy feature as well, just for your toast and your bacon and things like that. Constantly plumbed sink, standard feature. And then at the side here you've got a barbecue slide. Back you've got your storage bin for additional storage. So as you've seen, nice and easy to set this up, great for them overnighters. If the weather changes and you are outside, you can easily get inside. So we'll leave that out, that's all set up ready to go. Macerator system, you've got your outlets just down underneath here, so same as the single axle trailers, you've got your pump outside and you've got your manual gravity drain outside. So again, versatility there, whether you're in the bush or whether you're in a caravan park, you've got the option. Bit of a difference on the front end with this customer, he's gone with the Boss jockey wheels. So we normally as standard fit the ARC jockey wheel, which is standard across the range. Just this customer's got a bit of preference around the Boss ones and he's opted that way. Gas box on the front, same as the singles, you've got the two 4.5 kilo gas bottles in there. This is running your hot water system and your cooktop, which you've got inside and outside. Diesel heater standard, which is your cabin heater, so that's the little tank round at the front. Huge amount of storage in this area, so if I switch this light on, you've got a huge amount of storage in there. And being with the tandem axle, the ball weight is quite light on this trailer, so it means that you've got a bit more range what you can put into that area without it impacting the ball weight as dramatic. So just finishing off on that front storage area, just above there you've got the wood carrying rack as well. Great addition on the trailer, means that you can get all your firewood up there instead of having to put it in your car or inside the van. So that's standard as well on the Aurora. Now driver's side you've got 3 compartments. Number one compartment is a pull-out storage bin. Now, being that this is obviously handover day for this customer, all his items are in there, his toilet hoses, his maintenance kit with his spare bearings in, floor matting, the air conditioning divider which separates your hot and cold air. So all the features are in there as standard, but it just goes to show you have got a big area in there that you can easily store items. Now, middle compartment is normally assigned to a generator slide, so that is because you've got air conditioning as standard in the Aurora. This is more tailored around your generator. So standard, again, this is modified for the customer, but standard would have a stainless steel slide there, and you'd also have a vent on the door as well. As we just said, air conditioning standard, so we always position this closest to the axle for weight distribution. This will run off ideally a 2 kVA, and preferred is the Honda. That seems to be the one that most of our customers do adopt. So that'll run that from there. The divider, which was just in the front compartment, locks into this grill, and then that'll separate your hot and cold air from there. So standard feature on the Aurora. So you've got your cabin heater there, your diesel heater for your colder climates, you've got your aircon for your warmer climates. Gas hot water system, which is a standard unit that we've used for many years now, works really well. Obviously, because we guarantee dust sealing, this is where the covers come into play. So this is the same on the external shower. We just do this just to protect from any water crossings, dust when you're traveling, just stops it from getting in there and damaging anything. Standard with the Aurora, you've got 280 litres of water, which is 140 before the axle, 140 behind for weight distribution again. This customer has opted for an additional tank which sits directly above the axle, doesn't impact ball weight, but then in turn you can option for that tank to be incorporated in with the two 140s, or you can separate that and isolate it as a drinking water tank, which is very common. Plug-in point for power, so that's when you get home or whether you get to your caravan park, that's where you'll charge the system. You've got outlets just down the bottom here which are going to be for flushing your toilet tank, so flushing the line between the toilet down to the tank itself. Depending on which scenarios you go with your options on water, you can have flushes there for grey and recycled tanks as well. Now, just finishing off on the back end, you've got your two wheels as standard, so being that it's a tandem axle, we give you the two there, so you've got one per axle. Again, we match up with your tow vehicle, so there's certain tow vehicles that we can't match, mainly European, but for all the rest of the trailers we can get you that interchangeability, being that the suspension's all made on site. That gives you that interchangeability, so you're not having to carry additional space. So you can pull this and put that on your car, you can pull that and put it from the trailer, just depends. External shower point standard, which again, as I highlighted on earlier on, you've got a cover there, just more for dust sealing purposes. It stops anything from getting in there, clogging anything, damaging anything, so that is a protective cover around there. Bit different on the Aurora, which is standard. This is standard on the Aurora across the range, obviously. Smaller range we don't do this because the tyres aren't set up as high on the single axles, but on this particular one you've got a ramp there, so this ramp will actually lock onto the cradle arms underneath the tyres. If you come and you come across a puncture or you need to get that tyre down, it's just going to assist you with getting the tyre up and down instead of trying to physically lift them up and down. Last thing that I'll just touch on is the door. As I highlighted earlier on, the Aurora being 2100 wide is a slightly wider body than the single axles. What we do a lot different to a lot of manufacturers is with the faceted body we actually tailor the top end, we scrape it back into 1950, which means that when you are going through the scrub, you're going through overhanging trees and things like that, you're back to a narrow body. This means that when you look at the door side on, it's actually got a kick in the door. So this follows the shape of the body, which means you've got a lock at the top to pull it in for dust sealing. You'll pull it in nice and secure at the bottom, and then the dust cover, which we have to do for gas regulations, then holds it in at the bottom as well. So again, for dust sealing, the door works brilliantly, and that is all manufactured in-house. But the body is the big standout, and for most people looking at the Aurora, it is one thing that stands out to them just because it's a lot different to most of the other competitors' trailers. So yeah, going from 2100 back to 1950. In here, same as the rest of the trailers now, you've also got a separate screen in there, which just gives you some airflow. So there is another video which I did earlier on, which will just show to you how that door works. But basically you'll open that section up separately, which will give you airflow through there. So during the day you can lock off the main door, open your screen door and just allow that airflow. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Just a bit of an overview on the Aurora and some of the changes that have been implemented into this. Any questions at all, you know where we are, give us a call. We look forward to hearing from you. Cheers, guys.